You know, it's amazing when you think about how far medicine has come. It really wasn't that long ago when treatments were based on like completely different ideas of how the body worked.
Right. Like a completely different world.
And now it seems like everything is changing so fast.
Yeah, it really is a rapid evolution. And technology is like the driving force behind all these changes in healthcare. I mean, it's happening at a pace we've never seen before.
It's incredible.
Ah,
And you know, that's what we're going to dive into today.
right.
In this deep dive, we've got some really fascinating information about all the latest advancements in medical technology. We're going to look at how all this new tech is totally reshaping how we experience medical care.
Absolutely. Consider this like your crash course in the biggest changes happening in healthcare right now.
Yeah, like everything from intelligent systems that analyze medical data to like therapies that are designed specifically for your individual biology. Pretty wild stuff.
It really is. So where should we start? What do you think?
Well, how about AI? Artificial intelligence.
Hmm.
It's having a huge impact on pretty much every industry,
Yeah,
and medicine is no exception.
absolutely. It's definitely a big one.
So, AI in medicine. It might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's actually happening right now.
It is.
We're talking about like sophisticated computer programs, algorithms that can process and learn from mountains of medical information.
Right.
So, for like you and me, what's the main takeaway here?
Well, I think the most interesting thing about AI is its ability to process information. Like
Mhm.
it can just go through so much data so quickly.
Right.
Think about things like medical images,
Hmm.
x-rays, your entire medical history, even your genetic information. It's just a ridiculous amount of data. It would take a human being forever to analyze all that.
Yeah, you'd be there forever.
But AI algorithms can find patterns and subtle indicators that we might miss, leading to earlier and more accurate diagnoses.
So it's kind of like having a super specialized assistant for doctors, one that can see things that might not be obvious to the human eye.
Exactly. And we're already seeing this in action with things like cancer, diabetes, and heart problems. AI is helping to diagnose these conditions much earlier when they're easier to treat.
That's amazing. I mean, catching things early is so important. And I know there's a specific example of this. Google's DeepMind, they've done some incredible work with eye diseases.
Oh, yeah, DeepMind is a fantastic example. Their AI can now identify over 90% of eye diseases with amazing accuracy.
Wow, 90%.
And what's really interesting is not just the accuracy, but the potential to make specialist level diagnosis accessible to everyone. Imagine getting an expert diagnosis remotely. That could be a game changer for preventing blindness, especially in areas where it's hard to see a specialist.
That is incredible. So we've got these intelligent algorithms analyzing data, but what about actual physical tools that are changing how treatments work, like robots in the operating room?
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it's not quite like the sci-fi movies where we have robots doing surgery on their own.
Not quite. We're not there yet.
Okay, good.
But the way robotics has changed surgery is still pretty amazing. And a great example of this is the Da Vinci surgical system.
Okay, the Da Vinci system. What exactly does that allow surgeons to do?
So with the Da Vinci system, the surgeon actually sits at a console and controls these robotic arms that have tiny instruments on them. These arms can make much more precise movements than a human hand.
So it's not like replacing the surgeon's skills. It's more like giving them superhuman precision.
Exactly. It's all about enhancing their skills. And for the patient, this means smaller incisions, less trauma to the body, and faster recovery times.
That makes a lot of sense. Less invasive surgery, faster healing. That's a big win.
It is.
And I think I read somewhere that this technology even lets surgeons do surgeries that used to be considered way too risky.
That's right. Robotic surgery is opening up a whole new world of possibilities. It's making surgeries possible that were just too complex or delicate before. And that's giving hope to patients who might not have had any other options.
Wow, that is remarkable. So let's move on to something else that feels like it's straight out of science fiction. 3D printing in healthcare. And I'm guessing we're not just talking about printing out models here.
No, not just models. 3D printing is becoming a really important tool in medicine. We can print custom medical devices and even biological tissues.
Biological tissues, wow. Okay, so how's 3D printing changing the world of prosthetics?
It's completely changing the game. We can now create these really personalized prosthetic limbs, and it's so much cheaper than traditional methods. This means more people who've had amputations can afford these life-changing devices.
That's amazing. It's making these technologies accessible to everyone.
Exactly.
And what about printing organs? Is that really a possibility?
It is. It's definitely still in the research and development phase, but the progress is exciting. Scientists have actually 3D printed a human heart using a patient's own cells.
Wait a minute, a whole human heart printed in a lab. Is it actually functional?
It is. And think about what this means for the future of organ transplants. If we can use a patient's own cells to create new organs that eliminates the risk of rejection, it's a huge step forward.
I mean, it's almost hard to believe.
Yep.
Okay, so now let's talk about something that's become a lot more common recently. Telemedicine. Getting medical care remotely.
Yeah.
It seems like telemedicine has gone from this niche idea to a really essential part of healthcare.
Absolutely. The pandemic really accelerated this trend.
It did. So with telemedicine, you can have virtual consultations with doctors and other healthcare professionals.
Yeah.
It's usually done through video calls or secure messaging.
Right.
And the benefits are pretty clear, especially for people in remote areas or people who have trouble getting around.
It's all about breaking down those barriers. Telemedicine makes healthcare more convenient, and it's a lifeline during public health emergencies like we saw with COVID.
So it's not just like a quick chat with a doctor. You can actually get real medical care remotely.
Exactly. We're talking about diagnoses, prescriptions, even starting treatment plans, all without having to go to a doctor's office or a hospital.
That's incredible. It's making healthcare so much more accessible. And speaking of accessible, let's talk about wearable technology. Smartwatches, fitness trackers, that kind of thing. They've come a long way from just counting steps, haven't they?
Oh yeah, definitely. They're not just fancy step counters anymore. These devices can actually monitor your health in real time.
So, like, what kind of things can they track?
Well, the basics are things like your heart rate, blood oxygen levels, sleep patterns, but they're getting more advanced all the time.
I've heard stories about these wearables actually detecting potential health problems. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They can pick up on exactly. And there have been cases where devices like the Apple Watch and Fitbit have alerted people to serious heart problems before they even knew something was wrong.
That is incredible. It makes you think about how we can be more proactive about our health. And now let's get into something that has so much potential, but also raises some really complex questions. Gene editing.
Yeah.
And the big player in this field is CRISPR.
Right. CRISPR is leading the way in gene editing, and what's really exciting is how it could lead to personalized medicine, treatments that are designed specifically for your genes.
So instead of like a one-size-fits-all treatment, you get something tailored to your unique biology.
Exactly. By understanding your genes, doctors can create treatments that are more effective and maybe even have fewer side effects. It's all about getting to the root cause of a disease at the molecular level.
That's really powerful. And are we seeing CRISPR actually being used to treat genetic diseases?
Yeah, we are. It's showing a lot of promise in treating things like sickle cell anemia. It's caused by a specific gene mutation, and CRISPR could actually correct that mutation. We're talking about the potential for actual cures, not just managing the symptoms.
It's mind-blowing. I mean, after hearing about all these advancements, it's hard to even imagine what the future of medicine will look like.
Yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around.
But let's try. What are some of the future innovations that you're most excited about?
Well, nanotechnology is a really exciting area. Imagine being able to deliver drugs directly to disease cells with tiny nano-sized robots. That would be a game changer for things like cancer treatment.
That would be huge. It would mean way fewer side effects from things like chemotherapy.
Exactly. And another really interesting area is brain-computer interfaces. This is technology that could help people who are paralyzed by connecting their brains to prosthetic limbs or other devices.
It sounds like science fiction, but it's really happening.
It is. And it gives me a lot of hope for the future. I think we're going to see diseases being detected, much earlier treatments will be more effective and personalized, and healthcare will be accessible to more people than ever before.
So bottom line is medical technology isn't just about making things a little bit better. It's completely transforming lives, improving care, and making healthcare accessible to everyone.
And we have to remember that these innovations aren't finished. They're constantly evolving and improving. What seems amazing today might be completely normal in a few years.
That's true. We're just at the beginning of this journey. It makes you wonder what amazing things we'll be talking about in 5 or 10 years.
Absolutely. It's a constantly evolving field. There's always something new to explore.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
My pleasure. I always enjoy these conversations.
Yeah, it was great. And for all of you listening out there, think about the incredible potential of these technologies and how they're already shaping our health and our future. It's pretty amazing.
It really is.
Okay, that's it for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See you then.